1500 hours, three Mi-17 V-5 helicopters of Indian Air Force carrying Indian Army troops have breached the enemy thrust lines. Pilots of Mi-17 are tasked to drop the troops behind the enemy lines. Three choppers, one after another, flying low level, managed to dodge the enemy radars. As soon as choppers reached at the designated geolocated dropping zones, confirmed by hard intelligence, they hovered with precision and stability until the infantry soldiers slithered down the braided ropes attached with Mi-17 slithering frame. After slithering down the rope, the troops of Indian Army have taken position behind the natural heights. Dropping platoons with small arms directly into the theatre permitted rapid build-up of forces behind the enemy lines.
Slithering operations are all done with a view to be able to get to a place of our choosing at the fastest. And the ability of the troops to be able to slither down the helicopters when it is hovering. I think this kind of a capability now exists, and therefore whether it is with the special forces, even with the infantry also, all of these facilities and all of these capabilities exist, and therefore they are being tried out. Because after all, you have to slither down a helicopter, and to be able to hover well and to be able to reach down without injuring yourself and carrying modern weapons. I think it's a fantastic capability which we are capable of executing it, and that is something we can actually be proud of.
Now, the task of platoons is to encircle the area of interest and capture the land. In this tactical operation, helicopters offered an element of surprise and tactical flexibility to the army commanders. Rapid deployment and redeployment of troops by choppers overrides any incident of injury or casualty by potential threat of IED blast on mined roads.
Not necessarily weapons of mass destruction or something, but the infantry would be confined to the small arms. That's the weapons that they are, they'll be carrying missiles and launchers, that's all. Nothing very alarmingly massive mass destruction or something, nothing. Not weapons of mass destruction, but definitely to be able to be effective for the task that has been given to the infantry to execute at a particular place.
Air bridge offered safe and quick deployment of troops inside the enemy territory. The rapid deployment improved the reaction timings of the infantry troops while responding to situations. The desert terrain requires long enforced marches to patrol areas. Airdrop of troops ensured soldiers can carry more equipment, arms and ammunition, communication equipment and ration. Now the Indian soldiers have penetrated deep behind the enemy lines. They are all set to take on the enemy, make them surrender, destroy their equipment and grab the enemy land. The synergized operations displayed the jointness between Air Force and Army. While this was happening in one sector, the mechanized columns of Indian Army were preparing ground assault on the enemy. The mechanized and armored vehicles will cross the eastern thrust lines.
Station Sera, all station Sera, over. Sera, move now out.
The mechanized and armored vehicles will cross the eastern thrust line. There is hard intelligence on loopholes in enemy defenses. Some of the military intelligence elements have already breached enemy defenses and sending real-time inputs to Indian Army.
All station Sera, इलाका 45R में दुश्मन की एक कंपनी ने डिफेंस अख्तियार किए हैं. रोजर सो फार ओवर. हमें नेक्स्ट फोर्सेस प्रिडोमिनेंट अटैक के द्वारा इस कंपनी को कैप्चर करना है. रोजर सो फार ओवर. हमारे कॉम्बैट ग्रुप का कंपोजिशन 1 आर्मर स्क्वाड और 1 मैकेनिकल कंपनी होगा. रोजर सो फार ओवर.
The enemy area, marked as 45R, has around 250 enemies in their locations. Mechanized columns and armored infantry combat vehicles are moving closer to the enemy to attack and capture target. General movement is from south to north, while mechanized movement is from left. Military intelligence personnel burst flares to designate targets. The signals are well picked up by Indian Army tanks, guns and BMPs. By now, the Indian Army's mechanized armored forces have completely encircled the enemy's strong point, showing well-coordinated tactical maneuvers. Guzzling of tanks and BMP completely unnerved the enemy, who lost its scent of gravity as Indian Army continued to capture targets by carrying out the fire and move tactics. Army's artillery guns fire from 15 to 40 kilometers into enemy territory and rocket from 20 to 90 kilometers. And then the Army's battle groups, they cross over into enemy territory and tighten the noose around the enemy. The purpose is not just to grab the land, but to make them surrender and destroy their equipment. a day before, 1300 hours. Before crossing the enemy thrust lines, the rocket battery of artillery came into action as they fire and move to alternate location on coming under counter bombardment. The Smerch, Grad BM and indigenously manufactured Pinaka fired at the enemy. Behind me is the Smerch rocket launcher from Russia. It can fire 12 rockets in 40 seconds. After having the field day a day prior, artillery had yet another show of strength. The newly inducted K9 Vajra regiment rehearsed the move and deploy of the regiment and also the move to an alternate location on coming under counter bombardment. The gunners were at professionalism par excellence, displaying the shoot and scoot capability of the help-firing heavy caliber systems.
Integrated battle group tasked for a specific operation that it be it in mountains, be it in plains, be it in deserts, wherever it is required, and it ought to be network centric, and therefore to be able to employ yourself at a point, you need to know what the other teams are doing, and that is where the whole game is all about. Whether it is even the space needs to know. So you have your drones also, you have your UAVs also. Everyone is functioning at the same time. And somebody must control it and somebody be able to tell each other of what is happening. So this is just concepts which are being tried out so that we are not found wanting and we are able to extract maximum for what is available with us.
K9 Vajra self-propelled artillery guns battery in a different position after the enemy has fired on them. After taking the new position, they have raised their barrel towards enemy or in a firing position. As the dusk started to give way to night, the mechanized columns of night-enabled T-90 along with the BMPs and infantry in tow rehearsed the encounter crossing on an obstacle and its subsequent capture.
Capability of the night operations has gone up tremendously. There is no denying the fact. So it is not the operations confined during day, but operations being executed at night. There is enough night surveillance capabilities, acquisition capabilities, which in conjunction with the Air Force and the Special Forces, the ability to strike at a point of our choosing exists, and should there be a requirement, they're trained for it. what you saw was the IBG. You saw mechanized formations, you saw infantry, you saw artillery, you saw air defense, you saw engineers, you saw signals, you saw attack hepters, you saw the air force. All this is nothing but IBG. This is what exactly it is, an integrated battle group to be able to be effective with all that you have at a point of your choosing.
The fine-tuning of drills and shooter to scenes grid made it possible for the rapid operations over the obstacles. The important facet of any operation is surprise and speed. The 7th edition of exercise Sindhu Sudarshan shows that Indian Army is well prepared to take on any challenge.
Definitely it's a deterrence. Anybody seeing this kind of an exercise on such a large scale in Thar desert, in Barmer and Jaisalmer, anybody would be, would be rather scared if we use it more politely. What should you be worried about? But nothing to fear about. It's just the concepts that are being tried out, and it's normal. Everybody does.
The 21 Corps of Indian Army, known as Strike Corps, under Southern Army Command, is conducting exercise Sindhu Sudarshan in the open deserts of Rajasthan to hone their combat skills and execute a swift, intense and deep strike in desert and semi-developed terrain.
Darshan is being held in the Thar desert of Rajasthan with a view to test some of our concepts, especially the integrated battle group concept, and therefore invariably we do have a core exercise being conducted in which we see to it the mechanized formations, the artillery, the air defense, the infantry, you have the attack hepters in conjunction with the air force to be able to see the efficacy of the firing as also the airlift capability of the air force. We test the precision firing weapons over there. We have seen some slithering being done by the infantry as to where they need to go.
Approximately 40,000 troops, 700 armoured vehicles and 300 guns of Sudarshan Chakra Corps of Southern Command undertakes a massive exercise in the deserts, showcasing their ability to undertake large-scale offensive maneuvers as part of an integrated air-land battle.
These are all to test our concepts, and especially the IBG concept is being tried out. That is one. As regards the 71 is concerned, definitely. See, what happens is this ability to strike deep and strike fast and strike hard, making the enemy being caught virtually with their pants down would be the requirement of the day. But however, to say that, again I reiterate, it's not warmongering, it's not posturing, but it is to test our concept.
The synergy of information and technology to attain battlefield transparency and situational awareness, along with numerous other force multipliers, are being exploited during the exercise. The exercise Sindhu Sudarshan is completely network-centric and employs space elements with day and night capability.
If you know your enemy and you know yourself, you know that in 100 battles, you are bound to win at all times. Because you know your strength, you know the enemy's strength and weaknesses, so you know what needs to be done. And imagine an exercise in which over 700 A-vehicles are participating, over 300 artillery pieces are participating.
The Sudarshan Chakra Corps currently consists of 2 infantry divisions, 1 armor division and 3 support brigades. The war game successfully tested fast mobilization of the corps, testing its ability to quickly strike deep into enemy terrain with ground forces supported by air power.
And all these concepts are being tried out with a view to ensure, firstly we all must be trained to be able to execute the task that is being assigned, and this definitely boosts the confidence, improves interoperability. It has boosts the confidence of jointness amongst the various troops. You can try out, especially as I said, networking. All the networking, and in today's world, you know exactly if at all if you get jammed anywhere, how to get out of it. If anybody has hacked it, whether anybody is capable of hacking it. So all this is to ensure that it boosts the confidence of the army to be able to execute a given task within the time frame with full capability and be able to strike deep.
The operational readiness showcased by the mechanized battle groups of the Strike Corps in a network-enabled environment using multiple state-of-the-art force multipliers has reaffirmed the tremendous asymmetry enjoyed by the Indian Army in southern theatre over its adversary. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, do share and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Keep watching National Defense. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.